Let's play a quick game. You walk into a pristine public pool. The water sparkles, the chlorine smell is faint or strong, which we now know might actually be worse, and kids are happily splashing around. What's the biggest danger here? Slippery tiles? Sunburn? That one guy doing aggressive butterfly laps in the leisure lane?
Nope.
The real threat might be something microscopic, invisible, and utterly uninterested in how good the water looks. Meet the stealthy saboteurs of summer fun. Waterborne viruses, particularly norovirus and adenovirus, the microscopic pranksters that can ruin your week with as little as a single mouthful of water. First, let's talk about norovirus, the undisputed champion of viral mischief in aquatic settings. Norovirus is so contagious, it practically needs its own TSA warning. A single infected person can shed billions of viral particles, and it only takes 10 to 100 of those to make someone else violently ill. For perspective, that's like sneezing out a bucket of glitter and having just one fleck cause a gastrointestinal apocalypse. Now imagine that glitter dissolving invisibly into pool water. Still want to go for a dip? What makes norovirus even scarier is that it's a tank. Unlike many bacteria and parasites that can be neutralized by chlorine within minutes, norovirus laughs at your pool chemistry. Under certain conditions, especially if the chlorine levels are just a smidge off, it can survive in chlorinated water long enough to infect multiple swimmers. Once it's in, it spreads fast. An outbreak can start with one toddler having an accident in the shallow end and end with dozens of people vomiting and questioning their life choices. It's essentially a gastrointestinal flash mob. Then there's adenovirus, the overachiever of the pool virus world. Adenovirus doesn't just cause one kind of illness. No, it's ambitious. Depending on the strain, it can lead to everything from pink eye to sore throat to diarrhea, sometimes all at once because why choose? Like norovirus, adenoviruses are also highly resistant to disinfection. They can persist in chlorinated water for extended periods, especially in heavily used pools, splash pads, and hot tubs with complex plumbing that's hard to fully disinfect. Adenoviruses are notorious for causing outbreaks of conjunctivitis, aka pool pink eye, which, while less terrifying than projectile vomiting, is still gross and highly contagious. You'll know something's off when multiple swimmers start leaving with red, itchy eyes and look like they lost a bar fight with a bottle of Visine. Some strains can also affect the respiratory tract or gastrointestinal system, especially in kids, who seem to specialize in getting sick just in time for vacation. So how exactly do these viruses get into pool water? Spoiler, it's usually us. Infected people, often asymptomatic or just starting to feel a little off, go for a swim. Maybe forget the golden rule of not swallowing pool water, or let their kid swim with what they think is just a tummy bug. One tiny vomit incident or a loose diaper can introduce a viral payload capable of taking out half a swim team. And because viruses are so small and resilient, they can sneak through inadequate filtration systems or lurk in splash pad surfaces and interactive fountains where water may be recirculated with less disinfection. The troubling part is that viral contamination requires very little mess. You won't see poop floating. You won't notice cloudy water. The pool will look fine. The infection window is silent, stealthy, and sometimes already over by the time the first cases are reported. That's why public health authorities treat recreational water illnesses so seriously. By the time you see symptoms in multiple swimmers, the horse has already cannonballed out of the barn. But before you vow to never swim again or start Googling indoor sterile flotation chambers, there are ways to protect yourself. First, and we can't stress this enough, don't swim when you're sick, especially if it involves vomiting or diarrhea. This applies for at least 48 hours after symptoms stop, because viruses linger like bad karaoke performances. And if your kid is recovering from a bug, even if they seem fine, it's not worth turning the kiddie pool into a public health experiment. Also, keep your mouth shut. Literally. Try not to swallow pool water and remind kids that it's not a beverage. Shower before swimming to rinse off any microscopic mischief, and encourage regular bathroom breaks, because a preemptive potty trip is better than the alternative. If you notice a facility has poor hygiene enforcement, unclear water, or a suspiciously overpowering chlorine smell, consider bailing. No amount of Marco Polo is worth a week of norovirus. And finally, remember that most pools do manage their chemistry well and are monitored for safety. But these viruses are the ninjas of the microbial world. Your best defense is not paranoia, it's personal responsibility. Because public pools are only as clean as the humans in them. And as history and biology have shown, humans are not always the cleanest animals in the water.